So, yeah, guys, I think we are live. Hi, guys, welcome back, everyone. Can you guys let me know if I'm audible and if my screen is visible to you all? Yeah, guys, if I'm audible enough and if my screen is visible, if the quality is good enough for you to understand it, we'll be starting shortly, guys. We'll be waiting for 2 to 3 more minutes and then we'll start with the class. Yeah, guys, good evening, everyone. How are you all? And what are you doing at this point of time? We are going to start with the class shortly. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. And today we will start with the components. So we will be creating new components today. So yesterday we talked about all the different things which we can do with respect to or basically the flow of React. So how exactly it works, we talked about that. Today we will be creating more components. At this point we only have one component which is app.js in our application. So now we'll be creating few more components and we'll start working with them. And then we'll also talk about the concept of multiple pages. So we know that in React, we only have a single HTML file. So how exactly do we create multiple pages? How does that happen? Right, we'll talk about that concept and it will take us hardly 15 minutes to basically create multiple pages. I'll tell you how exactly you can create multiple pages. And then we'll start with the rest of it if we have time left. Yeah, guys. So shall we continue? Yes or no? Or shall we wait for some time? Fast, guys. Then we'll proceed with the class. I can see still people are joining. So that is why I think it will be good enough for to wait for 1 or 2 more minutes and then we can start with the class, guys. Okay, guys, then let's continue. Let's start with the class. Let's not wait anymore. Let's start with the class. So yesterday we talked about, okay, so people are saying let's wait for some time. Fine, guys, no, not a problem. What we can do till then is that we can discuss or we can take a review of what we did yesterday, right? We can just take a review of it. That will be enough. So what we talked about yesterday was how exactly React works, right? We talked about that we have something known as a HTML file, a single HTML file, which is index.html. So we have an index.html file, the only HTML file in the page, which is connected to. So it is connected to which file? It is connected to the first or the root JavaScript file, which is index.js. Now this file is in turn connected to what? It is in turn connected to a third file or basically known as a component, which is our app.js or jsx.jsx, this component. So this is how it is working. You have index.js, it contains a div, only it contains in the body only a div with a ID of root. Now with the help of this JavaScript file, you are able to target this root element. Now what are you doing by targeting this root element? You are targeting root element. So that is one of the things you are doing. Then you are creating virtual DOM for that element, and then we are, after creating the virtual DOM, injecting component inside it, right? We are injecting the component inside it, and the component which we are injecting is nothing but app.jsx or js. Okay, yeah, if you have a doubt on js or jsx, yes, you can ask. Sure, not an issue. So yeah, this is what exactly we talked about. This is the flow. We also looked into how exactly a component looks, right? We also looked into the syntax of the component, how it looks and how it works, right? So we talked about these all things, and this is basically the gist of what we talked about. Yes, guys. So you can type your doubt if you have any, right? And I will try to resolve it. If it is something which I can resolve instantaneously, I'll try to. But if it can wait, we will basically resolve it at the end of the class, right? That is what we'll do. Guys, just give me a sec. I'll be back. Okay, guys, let's get back and let's continue. Yep, guys. So, where were we? Yeah. And after that, on the top, we have this. Yes. So, use of JS in React compared to JS. Okay, JSX and JS. Guys, see, JS is nothing but basic JavaScript as a programming language. You can do whatever you used to do in basic JavaScript. But JSX is basically a combination of JavaScript and XML syntax, or you can say XML or HTML sort of syntax. Okay, that is why it is known as JSX. So when you write JSX, it is nothing but you can say pro version or a upgraded version of JavaScript. Okay, guys, just give me a sec. There is a disturbance here. Okay, guys, sorry for that. I'm back and let's continue. Yeah. So we were talking about, JSX, right? So JSX is JavaScript XML. It is just an upgraded version of JS, and it contains some additional features. So whenever you run this file, it will eventually be converted to normal plain JS, right? So basically it is somehow again converted to JS at the time of compilation and at the time of running. And then it is ready to be implemented or ready to run. So therefore, if you create a file, add the name of JSX, or if you end a file with the name of JS, does not matter. Both of them would work exactly the same. Because yeah, at the end you get JavaScript. But yes, it is always preferred that if you're creating a component, always keep an extension as JSX. It is preferred. But even if you keep JS, would not matter. Because yes, in turn it will be converted to JS only. Okay, guys. Now, I think we are good to go, and we are basically ready to proceed with whatever we were talking about. So let's continue and let's talk about the component, guys. So in our previous class, we looked into it and we saw that this is our app component, right? This is our first component which is present inside our project, and it is displaying this line of code which says, hello, this is my first component, right? This is what it says. So what exactly is this component doing? So basically, let's just figure it out. So you have something known as a div, right? You have a div inside HTML and it has an ID of root. Now, here in this div, it is doing nothing. I don't have ID like this, but yes, something like this. Now, that component which you created, it contains a return statement, right? And that return statement contains all the HTML sort of looking code. So what it does is just takes that return statement and it puts all the data, puts all the HTML which is inside it directly here. So if you have a h1, it will say h1, it will write the content like this, and it will end the h1. If you want to look, we can look into the output and we can figure it out as well. So if you go here, you can see this is our output, and this is basically our output here, the result which we got here. That is what we are seeing. So if we inspect on it, and if we see the body, you can see in the body, we have only this div, right? Don't worry about the scripts and everything. These are related to code sandbox. As we are using an online ID, that is the reason we are seeing these. So you have this root div, and if you open that root div, what do you see? You see another div. So yes, basically this div is the one which is being represented here. Now inside that div, what do you have? You have a h1. So you are seeing this h1. That's it. That is it. If you add another detail here. Let's say you add a paragraph, right? You add a paragraph and you write lorem ipsum or something inside it, right? Some random thing. If you go back, refresh the page, then you will see an additional paragraph section is added. That's it. So yeah, you can see a body, root, div, and head and paragraph. Simple. So it is just placing these components or this set of code directly inside the root ID. That's it. Sequentially. So it also depends upon how you're using it, right? If you had two components here, let's say if you had two components, and if you placed app at the top and then another component at the bottom, then app would be displayed at the top, or the content of the app would be displayed at the top, and then the component, another component would be displayed at the bottom. So remember that. Okay. Now, guys, some things you need to remember. Okay. Guys, no, it is not a good idea to learn React without having the basic knowledge of HTML and JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You will be able to manage it, but it will be quite hectic. And you will face problems not now, but at the time when you're building complex applications. Because there you will have to have good grasp on JavaScript, HTML and CSS, and then you will face the problems. And then you won't be able to resolve it because the methodology which you used for studying React was not correct. You had to first learn HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So that is important. You cannot just proceed with React directly. Nope. Not recommended. So yeah, we were talking about this section. So now one thing to remember, guys, whenever you write a return statement and you're starting to write inside it something known as HTML sort of code, remember one thing. You always read a parent element. That can be anything. So you always need a parent element if you have more than one, you can see tags. So if I don't write this parent element, you will see I'm getting a red error. Why is that? It is because inside my return statement, I'm directly trying to display two tags parallel to each other, next to each other. And that is not possible until and unless I wrap them inside a div, or you can say any other tag. So if you hover over it in the red, it shows that JSX expression must have one parent element. So that is what it says. So if you have more than one element or more than one tag and they need to be next to each other, then you need a parent element. If you have only one tag, let's say I remove the parent, or let's say I remove the paragraph which we have. Now you have only one tag. That is fine. Now it won't give you a problem. You can see it simply runs. If I go back, if I refresh the page, you'll see that it will simply run without a problem. You'll see the output. And if you see in the body, you have the div, and now you directly have the h1 because you removed the div here. But the time you try to place another element just next to it, let's say a paragraph or let's say a span, if you try to place more than one element next to it, then it will start giving you red error, which means that more than one tags needs to be, you can say, wrapped around or needs to be placed inside a parent element, one parent element. So if you create a div like this, it is always preferred to have a div, right? Like this, and then inside it you need to place these elements like this. And now you can see I'm not getting the error. Now guys, this div is not compulsory. You can make it a paragraph if you want to. Okay, it just needs to be wrapped around an element. But it is always sensible enough to use semantic tags like header, nav, something of that sort, or div. That is the best case, or you can say the best way of doing it. Now guys, are you clear what you need to do here? Why it is important for you to apply a parent element, or you will get an error if you have more than one tags present. Okay, great. Now let's proceed. So now guys, this is it. Now it works absolutely fine, but there is a problem. One problem which you might face or which you might think of. Let's see. Now I have a body. Inside my body, I have a root tag, but inside my root div, I directly have another div, and inside the div, I have some content. Now there will be scenarios when you don't want this duplicate div, because I told that if you have multiple elements, you will have to wrap them inside a parent element. And there will be times when I don't want this parent element. I actually don't want this, but I can't avoid it. Why? Because I need it or I will get an error. So what can be a solution for it? So what I'm saying is that I want to replace, or I don't want this div present here. So basically I don't want h1 paragraph and span to be present inside this additional div. But because I'm getting an error here, and because I know that components do not work the way I want them to, I can face a problem. So what can I use? I can use something known as these. What are these? These are empty. Okay. They basically represent that you are trying to enclose these three elements inside a empty tag. Empty tag simply means that this tag won't be displayed in your output. So you still wrapped your content inside something. You still wrapped your content inside something which is empty tags. And you will see that this additional div would now not be present. It will be removed. It will just be vanished. So basically these tags can be used if you don't want to wrap your content inside an additional element. If you don't want to display it inside an additional element, you just want it to be displayed individually, you can use it. So now if you open the root div, you will see you directly have h1 paragraph and span. You can nowhere see these tags. So this is because of JSX. JSX provides you with this feature. Okay. So remember that. Yeah guys, are you clear how to do it? If you want to wrap your element, but still you don't want it to be displayed on the screen, this is how you do it. Yes guys, yes or no? Then we'll proceed with the rest of the content. Now let me just remove it. It was just an example. Yes guys, am I clear? Then we'll proceed. Okay, fine. Guys, this feature, I exactly don't remember what the name of this feature is. Let's check. Okay. Yeah, fragments guys. So this is known as React fragments. So this is known as fragment. Okay. So this represents a React fragment, which means an empty tag, which will not be displayed on your screen. That is what it means. Yeah, that is the fragment name. Okay. Now guys, now till now we only have one component. Now let's create multiple components. Let's say I want to create multiple components. And guys, one thing I will talk to you about, and that is important. Okay, let's talk about it first. So guys, till now, if you remember, the way we were adding the components was this way. Okay, so the way we were working was we had index div, right? So we had index.html. Inside it, we had index.js. Inside it, we have the app.jsx. So this is the component now. Now guys, if you want to add another component, it is always preferred that you keep this as your default component. What does it mean? Now it means that whenever you want to create multiple components, it is always preferred to treat this as your starting point. So it means rather than adding your components here, it is better to add your components inside this file. So treat it as your main or root component. So this can be referred to as root component. So whatever components we create, whatever components we add, we will add them directly inside this file. This is known as root JavaScript file. This is known as the root component, or it is referred to as root component. It is not necessary to do this, but it is preferred to keep it as your starting point. Keep it at your starting component, and whatsoever new components you want to add it inside this component so that it is easier for you to use it. So let's do it. Let's create a new component, right? And what we'll do is we will import the new components inside app.jsx, and then we will display those components here. Okay, so let's create, you can see I've created a home.js component. So what do I need to do? The first thing I need to do is import a package known as React. So whenever you want to work with, or whenever you want to create a new component, you need something known as React package. Where do I want it from? I want it from the package name React. So I can do it like this. So import React from, and in double inverted commas, React. After that, I need to create a function. So I can say function, and then I can specify the component name. The component name is exactly same as the name of the file, which is home. So I'll say capital home. I will create a function, and then I'll create the function body. Now inside the function body, I need a return statement. And guys, I prefer using fragments rather than using a div again and again. So I'm using a fragment. Inside it, I can write whatsoever HTML I want. So I'll just display a h1 which says, hello, this is home page. And I'll close this h1. So I created a home component. But if I try to import it here, let me just show you. You might have figured the error. The error is that I have not exported it yet. So basically, if I try to import it in this component, it won't work. So if I say import, the name of my component which I want to import in the app component is home. So I want to import the home component. Where do I want to import it from? I want to import it from a file just placed next to me, right? So as compared to app.js, it is placed just next to me, home.jsx. So I can say dot slash, which means just next to me, and inside it you have home file, and you don't need to specify .jsx. If you specify, fine, but you don't need to. So this will work, but you'll get an error. So I have imported home, but if I go back and refresh the page, and if I check, what do I see? I don't see the output properly. So basically, if I go to console, did I save it? Yep. So yeah, we won't be able to use it. If I use this here, let's remove it. And now if I want to use another component or a component, what do? I do home like this, right? I say like this. This is the way of using this home component which I imported. Now if I save it, if I go back and refresh the page, you can see I'm getting an error, guys. You can see I'm getting an error. This is because I am trying to import and use a home component, but I did not export this component. So I can see I did not export this component. So I need to write export default and the name of the component, basically the name of the function you want to export, which is home. That's it. And this should resolve our error. So if we go back and refresh, now you can see, hello, this is home page. So what is the hierarchy, guys? How exactly is this process working? So let's talk about it. So what is the scenario and how exactly are the components present at this point? So basically, you have something known as a div which has an ID of root. Now inside this div, right, inside this let's say div which ends up here, something like this. Inside this div, you have your app component. So you have app component, which I told you can be represented like this. Now inside this app component, you have another component, which is home. So let's say I represent my home component like this, because I don't have any content inside it, right? So I can represent it like this. So this is the simple way of representation. You have your root div. Inside it, you are displaying an app component. Inside the app component, you're displaying another component, which is home component. I know in my app component, let's go back and check, right? In my app component, I am using fragment. So basically, I should directly see my home component. And in my home component, I'm using fragment. So basically, I should directly see a h1. So what does it mean? It means that here I'm using fragment, so I should not see any tag. Here I am also using a fragment, and inside the fragment, I have a h1, right? So I have a h1 and then I have a fragment. So basically this won't be present in my output. So these won't be present. So what will I have? I have a div and inside the div I should have directly a h1 element. This is how you figure out that how exactly your content will be displayed inside your component. So if we check, if we right click inspect, we have a body, we have a root, and inside the root I can see I directly have h1. Now let's create one more component, guys. This was, let's say, our home page. Let's also create another component. And guys, one more thing. Whenever you create components in React, guys, it is always preferred not to create them directly inside the source folder. It is always preferred to create a folder for the components. So basically, you should create a components folder and you should place all the components inside that folder. So I have a home component. I will drag it inside the component folder. Now guys, it will give me an error, guys. Remember, I changed the position of the home component inside my components folder. So now I cannot import it like this. This won't work, guys. This is wrong now. Why? Because when I'm checking for this, I'm saying that just next to my app.js file where I'm using this import, I should have a home.jsx component. But do I have a home.jsx component just next to it? Nope. I have it inside components folder. So what I need to do is I need to first navigate into components folder. So I need to say /, go inside components folder, and inside it you will have a home.jsx file. So I think this should be clear. It is pretty easy to understand. Right, I need to first navigate to a folder with /, and inside it I will find my home file, and then I need to display it. If I go back, refresh the page, you should see I do not have any error. Yeah, so it works. Now let's again create a new component inside it. So let's create another component here, and let's say this is our contact page. So let's say contact.jsx. This is our contact.jsx component. What we need to do? The first thing we need to do is import React. So I'll say import React, and I'll say from, and then I'll say React. So I've imported React. Now after that, I need to create a function. So I'll create the function with the same name, which is contact with a capital C. Contact. I need to create a function, and I need to write a function body inside which I need to write return. Inside the return, let's create a div, and inside the div, let's write again a heading. Let's create a heading which says this is contact page. So I created the contact component. Now I need to export it. So I can say export default and then contact. So I am also exporting the component. Now how to import it? Simple, exactly the same way. I can say import. What do I want to import? I want to import the contact component. Where do I want to import it from? I want to import it from components folder, inside it contacts. So I've successfully imported contacts. Now I want to use it here. And guys, placing or placement also matters. So if you place this on the top of it, then you will see contact is displayed first. So if I place the contact component here, I will see contact related message or the data which says this heading will be displayed on the top. So if I go back and if I see, you will see that we have this is contact page at the top and hello, this is home page at the bottom. So the sequence also matters because it acts exactly similar to HTML. In HTML, your sequence matters, right? They seem like tags. So yes, that is why you can say format or the position matters. Now guys, are we clear how to create multiple components and use them? Then we'll proceed. Yes guys. A fast yes or no. Are we clear with how do we use components and create components and use multiple components in a single file? Yes guys, am I audible? Okay, great. So now let's proceed. So we are done with it now, guys. But if you really, if you try to understand what we did here, I just showed you an example. Now let's move to our next concept, which is pages. Now we talked about basically how we can create components. But I said that if you want to create even pages or multiple pages inside your website in React, they will also act as a component. So pages will also be components. And if you really see the name, I named them as home and contact. So basically what I want to do is I want to create a home page and I want to create a contact page. So how can I do that? How can I create a home page? How can I create a contact page? Let's talk about it, guys. So if I want to create separate pages for them, I don't want to show both the data here. I want to create separate pages for them. Then I will have to use an additional package, guys. So this is our first time we are installing a new package. And the package which we need for basically creating multiple pages in React is known as React Router DOM. So this is the package you will require, guys. React Router DOM. This is the official package created for React, which helps you in creating pages. So that is what you require. React Router DOM. You can search for npm. And this is the command you need to run. npm install React Router DOM to install it. But guys, we are using online IDE. So here you have a simple option. You can see here dependencies, right? You can see here dependencies. You just need to search for the name, which is React Router DOM. You just search for the name. So you can see I got at the top React Router DOM. I click on it and it will be installed, guys. That's it. That is how simple it is in Code Sandbox to install React Router DOM. You can see React Router DOM has been installed and the version is 5.3.0. So this version of React Router DOM has been installed. And now we can use it, guys. Now we can use it in our output. So how to create multiple pages? For that, you will have to understand a concept of routing, guys. So how exactly it works, we'll have to understand that. So guys, the way you change pages or you move between pages in React is a little bit different than in HTML, normal HTML. In normal HTML, when you move from one page to another, what you do is basically you move from one HTML file to another HTML file. But can we do that here? Nope. Why? Because we only have a single HTML file. We only have a single HTML file. So can we navigate to another HTML file? No. So what can we do? We can basically do a simple thing. I can say that, let's say I have a home component. I know, let's say this home component is representing my home page and the contact component is representing my contact page. Let's say these are the two components. My home component represents my home page. My contact component represents my contact page. I know I have a div with the ID of root inside my HTML page. Now I know that whatever I see on the screen is basically whatsoever content I have placed here, right? Now, it is pretty simple if you apply the logic. So if you are at home page, what you need to do is simply show here single component, which is home component, and hide this component. So basically don't show this component. When I move to the contact component, or if I want to see the contact page, then simply show the contact component. So replace everything inside the root div and show the contact component and hide this home component. Simple. That is what you're doing, guys. So basically with the help of JavaScript, you are deciding which component to show and which rest of the components to hide. And that is how you can say mimic, or you just make the user feel like it is multiple pages. It is not actually multiple page, right? It is just a single HTML file. But it makes you feel like, it just feels like you have multiple pages. Because of what? Because you have the capability of changing and hiding components with the help of JSX or React. And that is what you're doing. You're showing one component which represents a page and you're hiding the rest of the components. That is why it is known as single page application, guys. So someone was asking, why am I not able to understand single page application? Now I think it should be clear, because it is a single page application. Yes, you only have one HTML page. The magic is happening because of React. You just show a single component which represents your page, and you hide all the rest of the components. When you navigate to another, or if you want to see another page, then you just add this component and you replace the previous component. I think this should be clear. I need yeses in the chat box, because this is very important, guys. Am I clear on how this works? Then we'll proceed. Okay, guys, great. Now, guys, this was the concept which we were talking about. Fine. It works like this. But how does it work? What does it use? Which functionality does it use? It uses something known as routing, guys. So this concept is known as routing. Okay. So routing means that basically you have a box. If you have ever seen a Wi-Fi router, that is what we are talking about. So basically routing means you have multiple openings. Okay. You have multiple switches. You have multiple plugs. Similar to that, in React, you have multiple plugs because of routing. So routing provides you multiple plugs. Multiple plugs means nothing but multiple pages. So if you have a home page, this will represent the home component. This is one of your entry points. If you have a contact page will be one of your entry points. If you have another page, that will be your one of the entry points. Now, if you want to be at a particular page, you can just navigate to that page. So basically, if you want to show home page to the user, you will only show the home component and rest of the related components inside home. Everything else will be hidden. So routing works this way. You can only show, or you can only enter, or you can only plug in into one port. So I can either be at this port, or I can either be at this port, or I can either be at this port, not at all of them at single point. So that is what I'm doing. I am creating, or I am using routing functionality so that I can display to the user a single component, which in our terms is referred to as a page. So if I want to display a user home page, so then he is plugged in into the home page section. So basically he's plugged in into this page. That is what it means. He's plugged in into this page. Now if he navigates to contact page, then the plug just changes itself and it moves from this place to this place. So it switches the plug and now you are at this place and it removes it. So now you remove this from the DOM as well. So basically this component is removed or deleted from the DOM and this component is added to the DOM so that it is displayed on the screen. Now if you move to the next page, then again the switch is removed from here and the new component which you want to display or the page is added. I think the routing should be clear now. One thing you need to remember is just that you can either be at one of the places or one of the switches at one point of time. That is the concept of routing. And guys, this is what we'll use, routing system. Okay. So now guys, one thing you need to use. So we installed something known as React Router DOM. Okay, we installed this package. Now there are three things you need to know about React Router DOM because we'll be using three things. There is something known as router. So basically to set up or to be able to use React Router DOM, the first thing you need to do is enclose your whole application inside a cell. Okay. So basically what you need to do is when you import or when you use this React Router DOM, it has three different things with it. There is something known as browser, router. There is something known as routes and there is something known as route. So these are the three things which you need to use. Only three things and you will be able to create multi-paged React application. Browser router is nothing but says that if you want to use routing functionality or if you want to be able to use router or basically these things in your React application, then I need to enclose your whole application inside a circle or inside a packet. How do you enclose it? So basically one thing to remember guys, when you use React Router DOM, it basically provides you these functionalities in the form of component. So yes guys, these are also components. Routes is also a component. Route is also a component. These are all components guys. Browser router is a component. Route is a component. This routes is also a component. So they provide you functionality in the form of components. And by enclosing, what can you sense from it? Enclosing means making it a parent, right? So that is what it means. It simply says that I want to use my routing system, right? I want to be able to use my routing system where I want to be able to use it in app, right? I want to be able to use it in app or anywhere at the bottom. Right, any component which is present inside the app, I should be able to use the routing system, multi-paging system I should be able to use. That is what it says. An app is enclosed inside the parent index. So eventually what it means is that my index.js should be able to create or should be able to create routes. So it means that just enclose my whole application, just wrap this whole application inside browser router. And therefore now every component inside this index.js or app.js will be able to use this routing functionality. So what does it mean? It simply means that inside your index.js, right? Inside your index.js, you have something like this. You have app. So what you're doing, you're directly displaying this app component. Now what you need to do, you just need to enclose it into a parent element, and that element is this. That's it. You need to say browser router and not self-closing guys, because we need to enclose it. We have a child inside it. Now you have app inside it, and after that you close browser router. Simple. That is what you are saying. Now after enclosing it, browser router says that okay, so app component is present inside me. Therefore, app component and any of its children, so any of the children which you enclose inside it would be able to use the routing functionality. Am I clear guys? I tried to explain it in the best way possible. I think it should be clear. It's just that if you want to use React Router DOM routing functionality, you need your whole application to be enclosed inside browser router. And that you can do by simply making it a parent. Now guys, let's go back and let's do it. Whatever we said. So what we need to do, we need to navigate to index.js. And what we need to do, we need to import browser router. So the first thing we need to do is import something. Okay, where do you want to import it from? We want to import it from a package. The package name is React Router DOM. I want to import something from React Router DOM. What do I want to import? I want to import browser router. So this is how you import browser router from React Router DOM. Yeah guys, I think it should be clear. Now what I need to do, I already told you. I just need to wrap it around browser router. So I need to create a browser router tag, and inside it I need to enclose what? I need to enclose the app. That's it. That is it guys. That's it. Now your app component and any component inside that app. So basically you have this app component and you have two components inside it. All of them would be able to use the routing functionality. That's it. That is what it means. They all will be now able to use routing functionality. Now what you need to do? Now we will have to use the routes and route. Okay. So now here inside my app, I need to import two more things from React router DOM. Okay. Which is something known as routes and something known as so something known as routes. I don't know why I don't just a sec. And there is something known as route. So these are the two things I require, routes and route. Yes. Now what I need to do here, guys? Now I want to create, rather than showing them next to each other like this, I want them to have a separate page. I should have a separate home page and I should have a separate contact page. So how can I make separate pages for it? Pretty simple. You can use here, rather than using them like this next to each other, now you can use something known as routes. So you can use routes, right? Routes is nothing, guys, just defines that whichsoever pages you will be creating, the list of the pages will be present inside these tags. So routes just mean that all the separate openings, all the list of openings which you can go through are present here in between these two tags. That is what routes is used for. Just for wrapping all the different, you can say, plug points. Now inside it, if you want to create a route, right? So one thing I forgot to tell you when we were talking about, when we were talking about routing functionality. The concept is same, guys. The concept is same. There is just one name I forgot to talk about. So guys, when we created this box, right, this was known as nothing but router. Now inside this router, you have another layer, which is nothing but known as routes. And inside this routes, you have all the different entry points. Now each of this entry point is nothing but known as a single route or single route path. Now it should be clear. Now the concept should be clear. We have browser router. Inside it you have routes, and inside it you have a single path which you can follow. So now guys, there are two things you need here. So basically there are two attributes you can specify in this route. You can say tag. The two attributes are something known as path and there is something known as element. So element is pretty simple, guys. Element basically represents which component do you want to display here. So in my element, I need to specify the name of the component. So I want to create a page for my home component. So I can say home, and I've created a route for my home component. Similarly, I need to say another route. So I want to create two pages, one for home component and one for contact component. So I can say path, and I'll keep it empty for now. And then I can say element, and here I can say the path. So I want to create it for contact page. So I can say contact component. And guys, that's it. So I need to also close it. Yup, guys. Now I have closed it. So what did I do? I said that I have two entry points. Either I go to this page or either I go to this page. Now guys, how can you differentiate between these two pages? So if you remember, in basic HTML, you had something like this. So if I was at contact page, I could say /contact.html and I would be navigated to that page. If I wanted to go at home page, I could do home.html and I could be navigated to home page. So this is also nothing known as route or path, guys. This is known as path. So if I want to go at my home path, or if I want to see this home page, I can define a path here. I can say that my path should be /home. What does it mean? And for my contact, my path can be /contact. What does these two things mean? It means that now in this website, you have two different paths available. Okay, one of them, so we have error, fine, we'll fix it. But before that, let's talk about it. One of them is /home and one of them is /contact. So basically it means that now you can go to /home and you will be able to see the home page. We are getting error, we will resolve it. But you can go to home page like this. If you want to go to contact page, you can say / and then you can say contact and you will be able to go to the contact page, guys. This is how simple it is. Now guys, let's target or let's look into the error. Okay, let's check the render method in React. So it says that there is some error in the way we are using it. Let's see. Okay, so how to debug this? Let's comment it out. Let's see if we are still getting the error. Then we can figure out. Okay, now we are not getting the error. So basically we have some error here. So this is what is not able to work. Let's check. So guys, one thing, this is good. We are getting an error, which means we can look into how to debug your code, how to look for the right solution for it. So let's look into the documentation. The best can be that we go to the official website of React Router DOM and we look into how we use React Router DOM. So this is the official website of React Router DOM. You can see this is the official website of React Router DOM. And now I can check here that why am I getting this weird error. So one thing we need to do is, firstly, I need to go back. Yup. So upgrade from 5 to 6. So I can say yup. And I can look for a perfect example where I can explain you what we might have done wrong. Let's check if I can get an example. So we have a path and we have a route and routes. So we have routes and route. We have routes. So basically we have a browser router. Inside it, we have something known as routes. So let me just remove this as we don't actually require them, right? And let's check if we are still having a problem. Yup, we are still having a problem, which is, let's do one thing for debugging it. For now, let's display a h1 and let's check if it is able to work. Then we will be able to resolve the error properly. Yes, so hello is able to work. So basically it means that whatever error we have here in this section. Let's see. We have a route, we have a path, and then we have an element. Maybe browser import. Okay guys, let's check what can be the problem. Path is fine, element is fine. Okay guys, one thing which happens certain times in you can say code sandbox is whenever you add this route, right? Whenever you add a new package, it does not get imported properly. So what you can do is simply refresh your page. Let's check. I have faced that problem, you can say quite some time. So let's check if reloading actually helps. You just reload your page, your output would remain the same. So this would remain your output, not a problem. Let's check if this resolves our problem. Nope, it does not. Yeah guys, it should work on your VS Code. There should not be an error. We are just trying to see that what exactly can be the problem, because it should work. I've used it hundreds of times, and if it is working, there might be a, you can say, error in the VS Code, right? That can also be you can say code sandbox. That can also be a problem. Let's check. So app seems to be fine. The app.jsx component is exported fine. Okay guys, just try it offline. I don't think there should be an issue. If it works offline in your VS Code, yes, it should work on code sandbox as well. I don't know why we are seeing this error. You shouldn't actually see this error. Expected a string building in component. So let's say here we have route and we have something known as router. Route and routes. So we have route and routes, but routes is not you can say exported. Why is that? Okay guys, actually let's do one thing. There is actually a higher version of React. Okay, yes, that is the issue guys. Basically we have another version of React router as well. So basically that might be the problem. Okay, so let's check. I think that can be the problem. Let's save it. Let's again go for routes, save it. Let's look into the output, refresh the page, and even refresh the website. Okay, could not find relation to React router DOM. Fine, not a problem. Okay guys, what we'll do is we'll stick with whatever we had, not a problem. We will go to React router DOM, we will navigate to the previous version, not a problem. What we can do here is simply we can show something like this, route, and it should work without a problem. So this should, I think, even work. No guys, individually won't matter. Guys, individually actually should not give you any, you can say, sort of effort or differentiation. It would work exactly the same. So if you import them even individually, I don't think that should give you a problem. You can do it. So you can say import, and you can say, let's say here, you can say routes I want to import from, and you can say React router DOM. Yes, you can do this. And let's see one more time what can be the proper solution for it. So we have a route, we have a switch statement. Yeah guys, this should work, but it is not a problem. Let's try to use switch. I'll tell you what switch means, but if this is the previous version, then switch should work. Let's check if switch is working or not. Let's wait for it to run, and then we can check if switch is working or not. Yeah guys, try it. Do let me know, did you try it on VS Code? Is it working? If it is working, then it should work. This should not be a problem. Yes guys, someone I think tried it on VS Code, right? Is it working there? Yes guys. Okay then guys, we will stop here basically. So this is the final thing I wanted to talk about. So we are using switch, that is not a problem. Let's look into something React router DOM. So you can say React router DOM, hit enter, go to the net. You can say React router DOM here. The latest version, which is 6.3.0, right? Yeah, guys, I'll give you the attendance link. Not to worry. So 6.3.6, it only shows the beta version. So we have route, path, and we have, yeah, guys. Okay, guys. So one of the things which you might find, basically the error which you're seeing here, now, let me just tell you what exactly it is. So if you see here, the latest version of VS Code, or sorry, React Router DOM is 6.3. But the you can see the code sandbox which you're using has not yet been able to implement it yet. So it is not ready yet to use the latest version 6.3. So what it does is that it downloads, or whenever it downloads React Router DOM as a package, it downloads a lower version. It downloads a previous 5.3 version of it. That is the reason that your latest code is not working. But when you will work with it on VS Code on your own, it will always download the latest version, which is it will always download this latest version 6.3. And guys, it is always preferred to use the latest version. That is the reason it is not running, because we are using an old 5.3.0 version, and there you did not have a concept of something known as routes. Okay, you did not have routes. That is the reason you were seeing an error here and it was not able to run properly. So that should not be a problem, right? And it should be fine. Just try it out in your, or you can say, VS Codes, and it should work. Yeah, it is version 3.6.3. Yes, guys, that is the latest version, and it is preferred to always go with the latest version. So yeah, guys, we will stop here. I will provide you with the attendance, okay? So just give me a sec and I will provide you with the attendance. So one more thing, let me just check if I can show you a previous way of doing it. In version 5, we had a switch statement, and inside it we have route and path, right? That is fine. Yeah, guys. So let me just see if this new effect works. React Router DOM, it says that could not find dependency history from node modules. Okay, yeah, guys, it is not working properly. It is just cracked in this, so not a problem. We can proceed. Okay, so I was going to give you the attendance, right? So yeah, let me just provide you with the attendance link. Fine. Okay, it is day 4 today, right? So we have the attendance link with us, and yeah, guys, I'll show you at both of the places. So this is your attendance link, and I'm even putting it in the chat box, and I'm pinning it at the top for the next 10 seconds, guys. So please take a screenshot and fill it, okay, as soon as possible. Yeah, guys, I'll show you. We'll use the previous version, not a problem. I'll show you how it should be actually working. So let's degrade to the previous version, which was 5.3.0. And yeah, you can still then you can just please take a screenshot of the output which you have. Let's go to the documentation. Previous version, nope, that is not what we are talking about. We have a browser router in the app, that is fine. Okay, guys, it's a YouTube link. Okay, so sorry for that, guys. I didn't check it. Let me just see. Why did I paste a YouTube link there? Okay, I did not paste the main core attendance link. Fine, guys. Just give me a sec, guys. I'll paste it there. I think I pasted a wrong one. So let's go to here. And this is attendance of React, right? So find it, copy it, and yeah guys, this is the one. Sorry for that. Yeah guys, now please fill it. Till then I will look for a solution or a previous older version solution which I can provide you with. Okay, so what we can do is we can go for the old documentation, web, and then here I should have a example which you can refer to. So where is it? First example, browser router, where is it used? So please fill it guys. I will keep it on the screen for just the next few minutes and then we'll start with another thing. So we have switch and then we have route. Yeah guys, exactly. We have a switch and a route. Not a problem. Let's see. Let's see if this one works. So we should have something known as a switch. Switch. And here, rather than this, I should have a switch statement. Here also I should have a switch statement. And here I should have something known as, not this, but the way it should work is remove this from here and route, and inside it you should have this home route. And similar to this, you should have this one where you don't have this component like this, but you have it somewhat like this guys. Let's check. Okay, it seems to sort of work. Let's go to /home. And yeah guys, yeah, it is using the previous version, that is why. So this is the syntax guys you use for the previous version. So if you are using 5.3.0, then you use route and switch. Okay, switch means that you have two options. You can switch either with this or either with this. You have a route, you have specified a path, and you have this component you need to display in that particular route. So /home/contact. And I will delete the form link guys, and I think you should be able to, or you should have filled it yet till now, right? So yeah guys, that is it for today, and we will terminate our class here guys. So if you have tried this out on your own, right, try it for both the versions, right? And if you have any doubt regarding it, do let me know tomorrow. We will try to resolve those doubts and then we'll proceed with the rest of it guys. So that is it for today guys. Now we'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue with the rest of it guys. So till then, bye bye and take care guys. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue with the rest of the content guys. And yeah guys, if you really liked the session, if you were able to understand the basics and whatever I taught, please do like, share and subscribe, right? And yeah guys, we are good to leave the class. Thank you everyone. Bye bye and have a nice day guys.